Welcome, ladies and gents. Chris Andre here. You can find me at BetBoxing on Twitter. Of course, you can subscribe to the channel. Let's talk boxing. Let's talk about Oleksandr Usyk and Anthony Joshua. Let's talk about Oleksandr Usyk's transformed the body. At least it's seemingly transformed, because now he looks a lot more muscular. He looks bigger. He looks as though he's grown into the heavyweight division. We'll get to that in a moment and what that could mean from a tactical perspective, and also where this could affect the outcome of the fight. First and foremost, you can see from a few weeks ago, he had a photo go up on Instagram whereby he was swimming, and you could see he looked a lot bulkier, a lot bigger, a lot more defined, particularly in that second photo. The size of his arms in that photo, the shoulders, he looks massive. Now, a bodybuilder will tell you that they oil up before a particular show, and that is because the way the light glistens off of the skin and the contrast and things like that, it actually makes your definition pop out more. So that could be what we're seeing here. He's wet, he's in the pool, there's light shining above him. Perhaps it's just that, right? So maybe we can dismiss it as angles and the lighting in that particular moment. But this week we've also seen a video of him playing softball tennis, and he does indeed look bigger. You can see more definition in the arms. The tricep looks a lot bigger. He's more well-rounded in the chest. It looks like he's bulked up in the pectoral area, his back, his shoulders. To me, he looks like a bigger man. And later on, I will show you a side-by-side of the weigh-in of the first fight, and then you can see his body here as well. And you can tell me whether it's just a case of angles, because it can be. The camera can play tricks on the mind. We've seen that with Andy Ruiz in the past, right? Hatman has a right laugh when it comes to Ruiz and the way he plays tricks with a camera. This is different though, because you're seeing Usyk mobile. You're seeing him moving around, running around, playing tennis. So to me, I don't think this is a trick of the mind. Having said that, he did bulk up more in the first fight and then start to lose weight as he got closer to the fight. So although he's not trying to make weight as a heavyweight, he still went above what he was expected to and then started to trim down the closer he got to the fight. Having said that, when that was happening in the first fight, if you go back and look at some old footage, you'll see that he had less definition. Here, he seems more defiant. So even if he does want to drop down in weight, even if he is going to come down, I don't think this is just a case of additional water weight or added fat that he's going to lose. To me, he does look more bulked up. And we'll get to that later. You can make that decision later. The question is, why would he possibly do this? Well, I want to show you a particular clip from the first fight. A lot of people feel that if Anthony Joshua is going to win this fight, he's going to have to fight like a big man, get a lot more aggressive, get at Oleksandr Usyk, push him around, throw forearms in there, try and lean on the guy, risk a disqualification, so to speak, if it means making it a dirty fight, which is going to swing it in your favor, because having a clean boxing match against this supreme boxer is not going to work for you. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that that's what Anthony Joshua should do. I will be coming up with my own technical preview closer to the fight. That will be part of his game for sure. There's going to have to be an element of that. But the way I see AJ potentially getting the win, if he is going to win the fight, is a little bit different to how I think most other people see it. And of course, that doesn't mean other people are wrong. It's just me sharing what I see, okay? So we'll get to that at a later date. But one of the things that people feel is that AJ needs to get close. And I want to show you this particular clip where Oleksandr Usyk actually hurts Anthony Joshua. He uses a bit of misdirection and he comes with a left hand around the backhand. So it's almost like a wide hook. And he wobbles AJ. Then AJ, as you can see, with a fully stretched arm, so it's not where he can produce as much power as he possibly can, he's able to use head control from range and affect the balance of Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk's hurt him. AJ's legs have turned to jelly a little bit. You see there, he lands a shot. There's the little wobble from AJ right there. He's not 100% sturdy on his feet. And yet, with a fully extended arm, so it's not the maximum amount of power he can produce with a push in his arm, he's able to cup the back of the head of Oleksandr Usyk and affect his balance to the point where Usyk can't really let go of other combinations. And he can't put his foot on the gas to hurt him again or get him out of there, simply because AJ is moving him around with an extended arm. Maybe Oleksandr Usyk saw that and he thought, you know what? It's not so much for the inside game, because whenever AJ tried to fight me on the inside, I was able to cut off the trajectory of the uppercut, the hooks. I was able to use fantastic hand positioning and elbow positioning to prevent him from being able to do that. But if I do hurt this guy, or if he does try to maul me and turn it dirty, I want to be able to push him off physically. I want to be able to be physically strong enough to be able to deal with this newfound aggression from Anthony Joshua. So is this going to be his choice from a tactical perspective. Now, here are the two videos where you can see them side by side. On the left, of course, is the weigh-in. The more recent video on the right, and you can see the difference in the triceps, the arm size, the shoulder size, the chest. You can see how more lifted it is and well rounded it is. Now, he's wearing a vest. We can't really see the lower part, the midriff, but I don't know, Usyk didn't look, I mean, listen, he's in good shape, right? He's solid, but he looks like a more natural heavyweight now. So again, I ask you, is the reason I just gave you a potential for him to want to bulk up and be stronger so he can deal with any onslaught that AJ wants to bring on the inside and to be physical and to maul him? Or is it just a case of him growing naturally into the weight? And if so, does this spell trouble for Anthony Joshua? Or do you see it the other way around? Do you believe that whatever Usyk does, he's not going to be as physically strong as AJ? And this could actually affect reflexes. It could slow him down a little bit. It could affect stamina. In which case, maybe now you give Anthony Joshua more of a chance. Let me know how you interpret this. Or maybe you just think it's the angles. And if that's the case, do you think he should have come in bigger? Let me know what you think about this. Now, I also want to add something else as well, because Oleksandr Usyk looks like he's having an awful lot of fun and he looks like he's in terrific shape. I've seen an excuse that has been branded around by a lot of people, and the fight has not even taken place yet. And that excuse is that if Oleksandr Usyk loses this fight, it's because of what's happened in his home country. Now, we have to hit this on the head immediately, as far as I'm concerned. I put out a tweet, and it was very popular with a lot of people, particularly Anthony Joshua fans, as you would expect. Less popular with some Oleksandr Usyk fans. Not all, but some. Some actually said, yep, Chris, I agree with you. You're 100% right. But there were a few that were saying, no, I disagree. And this tweet was me basically saying that Usyk is justifiably the favourite to beat Anthony Joshua. And the rumours are, of course, that he's been destroying these sparring partners too, so that he's performing well in sparring. He looks great. He looked great in the first fight. He looked like he could have gone on a number of more rounds in the first fight when Anthony Joshua looked completely spent. So you have to have Usyk as the favourite. However, if Anthony Joshua was to get this done, I don't want to hear anything about the war affecting Usyk or the result. I don't want to hear anything about, oh yeah, but Usyk had distractions. No, give Anthony Joshua the credit he deserves. Because Usyk did not see conflict himself. Thank God, we don't want conflict around the world. We want peace around the world, right? I don't want Oleksandr Usyk or his family to be in any sort of danger or for him to be in any conflict. The stress of what is going on, of course, is going to impact on any human being. But fighters have stress in their personal lives all the time. You have some fighters that are worried about the health of loved ones, children. They're worried about getting visas to be able to live in another country or operate, work in another country. Was it Beltran who had to win a particular fight to be allowed to stay in the United States? He had to win a fight to be essentially given a license to stay in the United States. It was one of those whereby you get a special dispensation for sporting excellence, and so he had to win a particular fight, a particular title to be allowed to stay in the US. That's your entire future for yourself and your family. And he did indeed win the fight, by the way. So there's a lot of pressure on your shoulders in that regard. He's also bought Oleksandr Usyk, or been gifted, rather, he attempted to buy, but was then gifted the rights to the fight in the Ukraine. So he will show the fight to his home country for free on YouTube. You're not going to do something like that unless you're ultra confident and you want to give a gift to your people. He is fighting for his nation. So you're talking about a very motivated Oleksandr Usyk, who has had a great camp, he's, from what we hear, and from the aesthetics of how he looks great. And thankfully, he himself was not in a position where he was, in a serious conflict and he's taken some sort of damage, or he's in, been in a scenario whereby you're saying this guy's just not the same anymore. You know how Benavidez, for instance, who fought Danny Garcia recently, not in a war, of course, but he was shot in the legs. You had Kell Brook, who was stabbed in the legs. These sorts of things can affect the future of a fighter and his output, right? Thankfully, we've not seen anything like that from Oleksandr Usyk. So if Anthony Joshua delivers, give the man his credit. By the same token, if Oleksandr Usyk delivers and he wins, don't start undermining Anthony Joshua. Oh, he was overrated all along. Don't be silly. All three of these top guys around at the moment, Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk, Anthony Joshua, they are great fighters and they would have been great fighters in any era. This is a stacked division and they are quality. So whoever comes out on top in this particular era has to go down as one of the best of all time. And so I don't want to hear the attempt to undermine Anthony Joshua because you don't like Oleksandr Usyk. Whoever wins deserves great credit. AJ is an Olympic gold medalist, a unified heavyweight champion of the world with only one unavenged defeat. Yes, he lost to Ruiz. So what? He got it back. Lennox Lewis had defeats that he had to avenge against lesser fighters. Muhammad Ali had defeats. Mike Tyson had defeats. All the greats of the past had defeats. You can't start to treat modern day fighters with via a different sort of a litmus test. They're great fighters. And this is a historic fight. So whoever comes out on top, give the man his flowers. Give them both their flowers if it's a great fight. Why not? The loser can be put on a pedestal too. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think about everything we've spoken about. Why do you think Oleksandr Usyk, if indeed this is how you see it, is choosing to come in more bulked up? Is there a reason? Is there a tactical reason? And how do you expect Anthony Joshua to come in? Do you think he'll come in heavier? Or do you think he'll come in like he did for the first fight? Let me know what you think, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to hit a jab on that like button, a right cross on the subscribe button, and an uppercut on that notifications button. Take care. God bless.